All right, today we are jumping head first into the incredibly rich, symbolic universe of Lost Girls Eden's Descent. Now, at its core, this story is really about two journeys happening at the same time. One is this incredible celestial rise, and the other is a heartbreaking fall into grief on Earth. So let's get into it. And boom, the story hits us with this line right at the beginning. I mean, think about that. It's not a gentle parting of a curtain. It's a rupture, a violent tear in the fabric of reality itself. That just sets the tone perfectly for a story that lives in that chaotic, beautiful space between life and what comes next. So, who is at the heart of this cosmic rupture? That would be our first protagonist, Eliza Hale. And we meet her at the exact moment she dies. But as you're about to see, this isn't an ending at all. For Eliza, it's this radical, fiery beginning of a whole new kind of life. And just look at this contrast. It's night and day, right? The source material calls her earthly body a mere husk of flesh, something worn out by a life of sorrow. But her spirit? The moment it's free, it becomes a pillar of flame. This isn't some faint, ghostly apparition. This is pure power, pure light. Her transformation just keeps going, and it's all deeply symbolic. She's given this celestial clothing, but it's not just about looking the part. Each piece signifies her new status, her new purpose. She's clothed in righteousness, veiled in light, and crowned with covenant. These are more than just clothes. They're physical signs of her spiritual journey. So after she passes through that ruptured veil, Eliza finds herself somewhere truly beyond imagination. She's standing before a celestial court, what the story calls the Divine Council. The imagery here is just wow. Seriously, forget anything you've imagined about the afterlife. No fluffy clouds, no harps. This is way more elemental and awe-inspiring. She's barefoot on a sea of glass that's literally alive with fire and reflection. It feels both totally solid and completely fluid, beautiful and kind of terrifying all at once. And check out the guest list. This is the celestial A-team. You've got the Father and Christ, archangels like Michael and Gabriel, the apostles, elders, the whole shebang. Eliza's standing there surrounded by the entire hierarchy of heaven. It's a scene designed to scream cosmic importance. But here's the thing. Eliza isn't just there to be a spectator. Not at all. She's been summoned for a reason. She is there to be anointed, to be armed, and to be given a mission. This is where her new journey really kicks off. A huge part of that mission involves this really important artifact, the Sword of Laban. Now, this is a major symbol in Mormon theology. It represents divine authority, basically the power to carry out God's will. And the fact that it's given to her, well, that signals a massive transfer of power and responsibility. We find out exactly why she was chosen when the ancient prophet Nephi himself hands her the sword. He says, "You have walked the path of sorrow and kept the faith. You are chosen." All that suffering she endured in her mortal life, it wasn't for nothing. It was actually her training ground for this very moment. Then, as if that weren't enough, Christ himself bestows upon her the blessings of these incredible women from the scriptures. She gets the wisdom of Deborah, the courage of Esther, and the hope of Ruth. She is literally being connected to this lineage of powerful, faithful women who absolutely changed the world. So this is the culmination of everything. The key takeaway is that she doesn't just sort of float up to heaven. The text says she ignites. She becomes that pillar of fire we saw earlier, but now she's fully formed, armed, and ready to walk between worlds. And right there, the entire story just pivots on a dime. We've been up in this majestic, incredible celestial realm, watching this glorious transformation. But now, the story slams us right back down to earth, back to the silence and the emptiness that Eliza's departure has left behind. And this is where we meet our second protagonist, Eliza's daughter, Eden. Her journey isn't one of ascent into fire and light. No, her journey is a descent into the heavy, suffocating world of loss. This slide just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the massive gap between their two realities. While Eliza is in a cathedral of living flame, Eden is stuck in a world of silence and casserole condolences. You've got the sacred versus the painfully mundane, the celestial versus the crushing weight of just human grief. But the two worlds aren't totally cut off from each other.
For just a fleeting moment, Eliza appears to Eden and whispers these mysterious words. You are not lost. You are marked, but not by them. It's this little seed of hope, a hint that Eden has her own destiny, separate from whatever everyone else thinks it should be. And just as we get that little glimmer of the supernatural, we are pulled right back into the cold, hard reality of the funeral. The pace of the story slows way down, focusing on this heavy, silent march of a family just completely shattered by their loss. You can almost feel the weight of every single step here. It's a ritual. It starts with her dad's strained call, then this slow walk down the stairs, a physical descent mirroring her emotional one. The family walks together, but they're totally alone in their silence. And then they walk into the church, into that overwhelming smell of wax, carpet cleaner, and lilies. That's the smell of mourning. And while everyone else is kind of going through the motions, finding their seats, Eden is just frozen. Her eyes are locked on that casket, described as closed, polished, suffocating. And that last word is so important. It's not just her mom who's trapped in there. In that moment, it's Eden's own voice, her own breath, that feels completely suffocated. And that leads us to our final lingering question. On the one hand, you have Eliza, reborn, armed for this epic, divine purpose. On the other, you have Eden, totally silenced, just beginning her own journey into grief. The title of the story is Eden's Descent, but it really makes you wonder. We have two very different kinds of falls happening here. So the real question is, whose descent are we really about to watch?